Yo, we are back, y'all, man. What's going on? This is Val.
It's your boy Z. What's going on, Will?
Yeah, listen, man, we are back to catch up with y'all. It's been a long week. Some would say semi-stressful, but we gotta roll with the punches. Gonna be a long season. But
Sad Boys Inc. this week.
right. But you know what it is, though. At the end of the day, we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta come talk about it, regroup, refocus, just like the boys in the locker room, just like the boys
Absolutely.
on the team. We got to get it back going. But Z, how you been though last 7 days? Everything good with the family? Mentally good? How you feeling?
It's all good, man. I can't complain. We had the big birthday last week.
Right.
Only two. So it's been a beautiful week, man. One thing in life that I realized, especially since having a baby, man, losses and stuff and sports don't affect me the same way, man. My days aren't ruined anymore. So, we took
Right.
that L. I was down bad for about an hour after that, shook it off and regroup. We good.
Right. Facts. I mean, there's a lot more to life than sports and football, wins and losses. And when you put things in perspective, it definitely helps to have a little one like that. I mean, your baby now, he too. So it helps to have a little rascal like that running around, keeping you energized and just
Right.
putting stuff in perspective. Because I know how that can be. You can look around after a game like that, or just in general with certain things going on in life. But when you look at your kid, that'll put a little extra pep in your step.
Yep. Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
yeah. So I mean, it's been a interesting weekend to say the least. Like you said,
Yeah.
you were celebrating your son's birthday. My wife's birthday was last weekend. Obviously, mine is in a
Woo.
couple days. We had a couple friends in town, a couple people that we seen. Shout out to Chris, shout out to my boy Lou. Um, Shout out to his sister Myasia, by the way, too, on opening her shop.
Yeah, big moves.
Things like that. Big
Big
things, big
boss moves.
yeah, big boss move. So shout out to the people, shout out to the folks. Big Scorpio season still. Beautiful weather all weekend, right? We can't ask for better
It,
weekend
listen, man, I don't think we had weather this nice in November and I don't know how long. So
in a long time.
man, I was out playing golf Saturday morning. It was about 70. It
Man,
was
listen,
a beautiful day.
we gotta take it all in because we know around the corner. And when I
As
say
in a
around the
couple
corner, I
days.
mean like in a few days. And around the
Right.
corner.
Yeah, it's probably about to be down bad, but it's all good. It comes with the territory though.
Right. We're gonna take it a day at a time. But nah, for real, we're gonna get into it. We can't duck it, we can't run from it. I
We
think both
could, but
we could, but with that wouldn't be real of us, right? But
that's true.
we both had some predictions last week, about how we
Way
thought the game would go.
wrong. Womp womp womp.
Yeah, we always gonna pull for our team to pull it off, but I mean, I don't even think did any of us give a one score prediction? Nah, it was kind of crazy, right? It was like 20 some points, 21 points. I think I might have said like 34-13, and you said something similar, like thirty-one
Yeah,
thirteen.
they both are in that ballpark. Low
Right. Because we
30s
didn't see them
and
scoring. We didn't see them scoring many points, which they only scored 20, but um we thought we'd be able to put up. But anyway, um to the game, obviously we lost for those who didn't know. What was a couple things that kind of let's just say got your attention from Sunday's game? So what really got your attention from that loss?
I'll say the line play on both sides of the ball.
Mhm.
O line, Jets were dominating in their pass rush. Granted, they didn't have. They walked off the game. I think with 5 sacks. Granted, some of those were scrambles where he got tackled, a yard or so behind the line of scrimmage. But either way, it's still a sack.
Right.
They gave up a lot of pressure. Granted, as we know, Jets has a good pass rush. They got good D tackles, good DMs. But O line struggled. D line again. They weren't getting a ton of pressure up front, mostly in the run game. Got pushed around a little bit.
Right.
Um, I think they just really lost the battle in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Which, you do that more often than not, you're not going to walk away with a win. And I think we saw the effect of it.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, I think from the beginning of the game, the Jets were the more physical team.
Mm.
And I think that even those who watch who don't even pay too much attention to the small details, they could see that one team brought more juice from the start of the game. They looked like the team that were trying to prove something, which again, the Bills are going to have to deal with this week in and week out, and until I don't know, until they drop below 500. But teams are going to want a piece of Buffalo. They're going to want a
Right.
piece of Josh Allen. Um,
Every
I mean,
game they're gonna get the team's best shot. Every single
right,
game.
because ever since March or April, this has been the most talked about team in the league as far as being Super Bowl favorites, having the MVP, having one of the best defensive players of all time, having one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now, if not the best. And if you are a division rival, we saw this with Miami, you're gonna want a piece of that. And you get up for those games, especially when it's a home game. Like, it's one thing when you got to go on the road, play in the cold, play in the snow, but it's another thing when they come into your house and you got a chance to make a statement. So, for me, some of the similarities I saw, it was kind of like the Miami game where like the teams just brought it, and it was like, we were just waiting, much like in
Yeah.
that Miami game, for the Bills to kind of make that punch in the mouth kind of counter. Because I
And it
will give
never
them
happened.
credit. They started off the game 14-3, which I had to kind of go back and look like, oh damn, I forgot we was up 14-3. The Bills did get the momentum going early, but one of the things that we got to touch on though was just them turnovers, right? Them turnovers brought the Jets back into it, and it changed that momentum. So how did you feel about, pre-injury Josh's play?
I mean, outside of the interception, they were fine. It's just those interceptions. I mean, it was just careless. It's one thing. It's not him trying to force the ball. It's not him being late trying to hit a window or trying to muscle something in.
Right,
My man is literally throwing the ball to defenders.
right.
So
Like he
like I
never
don't I don't
said.
know if it's miscommunication between him and the receivers. Receiver thought he was doing one thing, quarterback thought he was doing another.
Right,
But that first interception down the red zone, like my man handed him the ball.
pretty much.
He just flipped it right to him.
Right,
I mean, again, looking at the route that Dawson was running, maybe Josh expected him to keep it more flat, and he kind of took it more towards the end zone and an undercut. It literally looked like he threw it straight to him though. And the
pretty
second
much.
interception, there was no one even in that space.
Yeah.
So it just looks careless.
Yep. And that's the stuff. And you saw it after the second interception when he threw his helmet down. Like that's the stuff where you're like, well, you know better, right?
Yeah, that's
We've
like if
seen
that
him.
happened to you, like one of us or something. Like in my head, I'd be like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like
Right,
that's just one of them things. Like what the fuck was that?
right. And that's the fourth interception in 6 quarters. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's getting to the point where, and we hope, and we'll get into it later, we hope that the injury isn't too serious. But I think we're getting to the point where we now really want him to focus right back into just getting the ball in the player's hands and seeing that pass through. It was something that I think early on in his career he would get a little careless like that, trying to make something happen, and it would be like, oh, why did he just throw that pass? And those are things that honestly, after year 3, we were like, oh, okay, he's done with that. But
Yeah,
then it kind of
it's just
showed up at times last year though too. I remember the Colts game. He threw a couple of picks, and I was just like,
yeah. I feel like these are different though, because like I felt like the ones early in his career, it was him trying to do too much, and here like yo, it's not even him trying to. I don't even know what the hell this is because like before, I felt like he was scrambling, trying to make a play, didn't want to throw it out of bounds, so he put a throw in harm's way. These are like I'm just literally throwing it dead straight to somebody.
right,
Like I don't know if it's just mental errors. I don't know if he literally just didn't see him
yeah.
or just read the coverage wrong, but this looks like just
All right,
bad
but listen, but
mental
when it
error.
happens more than once, you gotta kind of think like, and maybe he'll open it up. Maybe he'll open up about it in his next interview. Maybe when he speaks to Kyle Brandt the next time or whoever he speaks to, maybe he'll open up about what he's seeing. But I would definitely, whoa, all right, we're throwing stuff in the house. But I would definitely be open to hearing about like what things are really throwing him off in those moments, because outside of those 2 to 3 or 4 or 5 plays in the last couple games, he still has thrown some nice balls. He had a couple nice balls to Diggs. Obviously the last play of the game, while being hurt, he threw a dime down the sideline, 70 yards to Gabe Davis.
That's what's
Um,
crazy. Like, that was
right. So it's like, we're still
fine.
getting those wild throws, but to me, it still goes back to what I've always said from day one. It's just consistency. I still need game in, game out to know that my guy 1-7 is going to put the ball where it need to be, and just really just try to, especially most recently, just eliminate some of those careless throws. Like I said, I don't know what he's seeing. That's why I'm really interested in, finding out from him what he saw on a couple of those plays. But that just is not what's going to win us the Super Bowl. Because I'm saying right now, if you think these defenses in our division are doing a good job, disguising or dropping people, wait till you get to the AFC Championship again. Wait till you get to the Super Bowl. Because those teams, they pull out everything. Playoff time in general, as he already knows, but you ain't seen nothing yet. So
Right.
so I hope it's nothing that the defense is doing. I hope it's just him just being off or whatever. But the time is now. We're getting into what, week 9, week 10, I think, week 10. So yeah. Yeah, this is the time. We'll find out more about this injury. Maybe by the time this drops, we'll have an idea of
Right.
what's really going on with the elbow and the UCL. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. I kind of want to move on, and I kind of don't want to talk about it no more and just pretend like it didn't happen. But
Yeah, I'm saying it's about the game. It's probably gonna be my last point because I don't know, the games like this, I just want to turn the
oh
page.
yeah, it's got to turn the page. Yeah.
But I need someone on this offense, not named Stephon Diggs, to step up
Yep.
and take claim to a meaningful role. Because right now, Gabe is dropping balls, not making big time catches like
Inconsistent.
we're accustomed to. So
Right.
somebody just need to step up and really take that. Because right now
Consistent.
it's
And we've talked about that before. We talked about that last month. We said,
yeah,
yo,
right now it's Diggs or nothing.
right. And you can't have that, because once again, when you play the better teams, they're gonna make adjustments. They're gonna do different things, and you gotta be able to have guys ready to contribute and ready to
At
make
all
plays on the
times.
ball. We saw it in the Pittsburgh game, right? We saw Gabe go up. We saw
And we know
Khalil
he can
go
do
up.
it. He's done it, but it's
Right.
just
We even seen a rookie step up and make big catches. So, and we've seen McKenzie do it at times. So, like, I just need them either as a group, or it can be one or two, just consistently be reliable for Josh so that he doesn't have to think twice about
yeah,
letting that ball go in those situations. Like third down, we know that used to be Cole Beasley thing. And even McKenzie last year on third down against New England was very important. But this year we just haven't seen that consistency. I think that's the
yeah,
big word, is consistency. If we
yeah,
if we can get consistent in that area, whether it be third and short, third and long, with guys not named Diggs, like you said, we will be a much better offense. Because I think right
yeah,
now in the rankings, we got to be sliding down. I don't think we out of
yeah.
the top 10,
And
but
with the offense, just kind of, I just call it a rut, just kind of stuck in neutral. Like
right.
right now, I feel like it's up to Dorsey right now to get things
I figure it
moving.
out. Yep.
Yeah, get this jump started. So I mean, if what you've been calling ain't really been working, I mean, I think a lot of it is execution. I don't
Yeah.
think they're running bad plays,
Yeah. It's a play. It's up
but
to the players on some of this stuff.
yeah, but I just think, hey, listen, dog, it's on you to make it happen.
Yeah.
Scheme
But
if
scheme
Gabe
it,
is having
scheme them
trouble
over.
getting open, scheme him open. Figure out a way to get him in a bad matchup against the defense and work it.
And I still think we got to use them tight ends a little bit more
I mean,
too.
I ain't seen Dawson Knox in weeks outside
And
of the touchdown
he
catch
might be going on a missing.
against
He
Kansas
might be
City.
on a milk carton soon, because I'm ready.
It's not even just Dawson Knox; it's the tight end group in
Right,
general.
Morris, and that's the thing too. That's we'll see what they do next week and in the weeks to follow. But that's the thing for me that I'm interested in finding out about is if it ain't going to just be one guy, how can we collectively bring these guys along so that this offense can really reach its hit that ceiling? Because we really haven't seen its offense. I mean, we saw the offense for 3.5, 4 quarters. I mean, not 4 quarters, but I'll say more so 3.5 quarters. We've seen them at a high level in the Pittsburgh game and then the
Right.
Rams and Tennessee. So we've seen it here and there, but I think the word of the day for me is still consistency. Doing it 3 games out of 8 or 3 games out of what's our record? 6-2? Yeah, 8. So doing it 3 games out of 8 ain't gonna do it for me. You don't win a Super Bowl by half of the time being lights out, and then the other half of the time you're not able to, convert in the red zone. You're not able to get the ball to a number 2 consistently.
Right.
So
Because, I mean, I think I saw, like, as of right now, and I think they got the worst red zone offense in the league, which
yeah,
is
which is
weird
nuts.
for a 6-2 team, regardless of who it is,
Right.
to
And
be.
a team led by Josh Allen, who's been
Right.
great in the red zone his whole career
Yeah.
since he
And
was a
he's
rookie
never really thrown red zone interceptions, but this year,
until this year. Yeah, that they say he had one before this season.
they probably got
And
at least 4 now.
yeah, for a turn, they say he got at least. I think he got 2 interceptions, and then there was something else they said he got. But that's something they got to figure out. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because I do believe with their schedule, they can figure it out. I just need them to, because they're a lot more healthy than the defense. Now, obviously, again, we'll find out with Josh what's going
Right.
on, but we can't say like the defense that they've been down 4 or 5 starters. Like
Which they have been all
they,
year.
right, they haven't. Like, so we expect you guys to be able to score more than 20 points.
Right.
Point blank period. Like if you hold Zach Wilson and that team to 20, which some may say is a lot, but whatever. If you let them score 20, I expect the offense led by Josh Allen and Devin Singletary and Stephon Diggs and James Cook. I expect that offense to score more than 20 points.
Exactly. If the defense hold any team to 20, this team should win.
Exactly. Same thing in the Miami game where we held them to 21, 19 points or some shit like that. Like, come on. Gotta score more points than that. And these are divisional opponents. So I really hope that we start to see that trend. And remember now, we got 4 more divisional games. And luckily, the Jets, Miami, we see them again at home. So that's what I'm hanging my hat on. I'm hanging my hat on, okay, you got us in your backyard, cool. You was juiced up, you got that emotional victory out the way. Both good football teams. Shout out to you. But come here in December when it's a little bit cold.
Run that back. That's it.
When the fans is in our backyard, and we'll see what happens. And
because again, I mean, this is it's gut check time for the Bills. So again, now you 0-2 in division. So
for sure. And I
was
don't
trying
know.
to put your money where your mouth is.
I don't know a real top 3, top 4 team that's 0-2 in their division. That don't even sound right. So they got to put up or shut up. That's why I'm not even paying attention to the rankings this week. None of that. Like, no, this is your week to zero in on what you need to improve in, make adjustments. If you're Gabe or whoever, hit the jug machine. If you're Jaquan Johnson, get down and tackling the dummies and all of that shit. Get it together because guess what? It only gets tougher from here because now teams are realizing, ooh, they got some weaknesses.
Right.
This
we
is a
can run the
team
ball and control the clock. We can
right, and that's right up Minnesota alley too.
ugly this
Like,
game up and might walk away with a win.
And the crazy part is that's up Minnesota's alley. That's up New England's alley. You know what I mean? Like these teams that we playing in the next 3 or 4 weeks, even Detroit to a certain extent, they can run the ball. So like these teams, they looking at the blueprint and they like, okay,
yeah, we can do that.
Okay, keep Josh to the sideline when he is on. Try to fluster him a little bit and get pressure. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm all about adjustments, and I think this team is still talented enough to go with my early prediction, which it was 13 wins.
Yeah,
I said at the beginning of the
because
season.
what doesn't change, whether they lost these games or not, the talent doesn't change. Well, I mean, obviously injuries affect that, but I mean, injuries aside, the talent doesn't change.
Right.
So again, I'm not worried about the team. It's just a matter of I got to get y'all shit in order.
Get y'all shit together, man. That's all we
Again,
ask for. We ain't gonna
and
talk
again,
too much
yeah,
about
I
it.
don't need you to be running on all cylinders in November, but I
Right,
need you to be making strides towards getting better. And right now, they're not ascending. They're on the
right,
downslide right now. So
right.
they gotta right this ship because you got
Very similar
a,
to what we
a
saw last
six and
year.
one or a 7-1 team coming here, and they riding high. They ain't lost in weeks. Minnesota not gonna take it easy.
Listen, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Thielen, all them
Mm-hmm.
guys. It's gonna be on the pop, and that's my heater in the background, folks. Too, if you hear, you know what that means. It's getting cold out, so we gotta turn the heater on. Big heater season. But
Ah,
anyways, moving right along. There has been a couple new things. Obviously, we talked about the injuries. From a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you with waiting for the official word on Josh Allen? How you feeling about that?
the waiting is the worst part. It's not even the injury itself. I mean, injury itself too, but it's just the anticipation of an answer one way or the other is the
Right.
worst part. I'm like, yo, hey, bro, it's as of right now, it's 9:47 Tuesday night. Like, so we ain't got nothing yet. We ain't
Yeah,
got
man.
no
That
real
that mean they
definitive
really
answer.
weighing their options. That's all that tells me is that because we hear about shit all the time. Like on a Monday after a
Right.
game,
I said
they'd be
somebody
like
tearing ACL. Hey,
ACL out for the year.
torn
Even on
quad,
Tuesday mornings,
torn
such and
pec.
such hurt his knee, out 4 to 6 weeks. This right here is telling me they know some information, but
They trying to figure out what the course of action really
right,
is.
because we all know they gotta practice on Wednesday. And I know this will be out by then, but they gotta practice, so it's gonna be boom. What are we giving the updates on? What are we telling the
Right.
reporters?
We
That's gonna be the
limited.
first
We
question.
out.
Yeah, is he
What is it?
limited? Right. Because I think right now the early word is that he may be limited. They may be careful with him during practice and he may play through the pain. But even that right there isn't official. So like you said, it's really the anticipation. Kind of seeing what they come up with. I mean, shit, if I had to grade my own self or say where I'm at on that scale, I'll probably say I'm at like a 5. Like I'm right in the middle. Like I'm just like I'm not too concerned because, like I
Yeah,
said,
I think right now I'm at like a 3.25. Like I'm chilling for now. Because
right,
again, I think if it was something major, we would already know by now.
right,
More often than not, if it's
yeah, normally within
some
48
complete
hours, yeah,
tear or something like that, we'll know. But is it something where he might miss a game or two? I
maybe,
wouldn't be excited about it, but
not ideal,
would it be the worst thing in the world? No.
right,
Again, it's still a talented team. Case Keenum done won some games in this league. The talent still exists. The defense is still there. It'd be funny to
right.
see Case Keenum go against Minnesota.
Man, listen, that seems too
But,
funny for me. Like I don't even know if I really want that, but
yeah, I don't, but
that would
it would be funny.
it would be just funny because I'm just like, dog, really?
About
You
to
got
run
to
it back
go
with
against
Keenum
your
and
old
Diggs.
team. They 7-1. This the quarterback that basically took your spot because this is. I think that next year they got Kirk, or that next year did they go with Teddy Bridgewater that next year? Who they went with?
No, it was. I think it went from Kurt to Kurt to
Or you mean Keenum to Kirk, right?
Keenum to Kurt. Yeah, because I don't even know because Bridgewater did come back and play like a
Because
couple
Diggs,
games with
you
Minnesota,
know
but
what? I answer it for you. I do remember it was Keenum to Kirk because I remember watching Diggs highlights before he got traded, and it started off it was Bridgewater, whoever else, then it was Keenum, then that next year cut to Kirk throwing them passes. So
yeah, that sounds
yeah,
about right time wise.
so I mean, if it does happen, I mean it'll be a storyline. But I, for my heart, so I can be a little bit better, I would love to see Josh out there on the field because he truly is one of only 3 or 4 players in the league where
Oh yeah,
him being on the field matters 2,000%.
mm-hmm.
Like there's
There's
no
no
way.
middle ground, right?
There's no like. It's just like Lamar Jackson. I watched Lamar Jackson the other day. Baltimore doesn't win that game at all without him. Point blank.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And like I said, there's only a handful of guys like that, and that's Lamar, Patrick, Josh, maybe Josh. I mean, maybe a guy like what's his name, Jalen Hurts, maybe, but definitely Lamar, Josh, and Pat. Those are 3 guys where you're gonna feel it when they're not on the field. for sure. So for our sake, I hope that he can play. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. But we are going to move along. Speaking of Minnesota, did you want to touch on around the league first with the whole coaching shit with the Colts, or do you want to save that for after this?
I mean, we can touch on it real quick since you brought it up, but that was crazy. So I had a super busy day working yesterday, so I wasn't even really on my phone. I got a notification, saw that Frank Wright was fired. I was like, oh dang, saw that
Right.
coming. So
Crazy.
I didn't look at my phone for hours after that. So I don't think I was on my phone until I was about to get in bed. And then I'm like, yo, why is Jeff Saturday trending on Twitter? So I was
Right.
like, and then I look and I'm like, Jeff Saturday, interim head coach. I'm
Jeff
like, yo, bro,
Saturday.
you're not even a coach.
I
Like,
want to be
ain't you working
going
for
with
ESPN? And I'm like, yo, so you telling me now the requirement to be an NFL coach is none?
be on first take 3 days out the week.
Yeah, so like I don't need to be a coach on the NFL level. I don't need to be a coach on the college level. I can just have past playing experience and that's it. But you know, Reggie Wayne got past playing experience and he a current coach on your team. Like if I'm a player, I'm looking at this sideways. Like
That's why I hate that some of the ESPN people, and I haven't gotten a chance to be on my phone much either. Like as far as like, or I should say, watching a bunch of TV, because of work. But the consensus I get is that some of the ESPN guys that he worked with are kind of scared to say too much because that's a colleague. I get it.
yeah,
When they
that's
want to
still my
colleague,
guy.
so they don't want to criticize it like that. So before we started recording, I saw that what's the name was trying to defend him, Ryan Clark. So he threw a shot at Kyle Brandt and like tagged him and was like, Kyle Brandt, how about you just go back to just covering football and don't worry about da 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 da. Because Kyle Brandt made a strong statement about him, I guess, on his show. And Ryan Clark didn't like that. And I'm like, listen, Ryan, normally I'm with you, RC, but just because that's your colleague don't mean
Look
that.
at the optics, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, just because that's your. But the funny thing is, he had made a joke about it originally. Like he was one of the first tweets I've seen after it happened because he was like, "Wow, lucky for me, none of my former teams need a head coach," and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm like, you made light of it yesterday, and
Right.
now probably they telling y'all at ESPN like, be nice, don't say too much, like.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get on Kyle Brandt. That's all I had to say. Like I saw Kyle Brandt say something. I'm like, that's Kyle Brandt's job. Like Kyle Brandt is always gonna keep it 100, pretty much.
Right.
Like
That's
he a
what I get
nice
paid to
dude.
do.
Yeah, he a nice dude, but he gonna come with his shit. Like he not like one of them Fox Sports guys, like Nick Wright or what's the other dude name? Skip Bayless. But Kyle Brandt gonna do it in his own way and gonna keep it a buck. Like
Right.
most of us thought. Like you said, you look at your phone, you see that, you're like,
This can't be real. Because again, I mean, the thing that's crazy to me is you have so many qualified coaches who have literally been in their position or in NFL coaching for some decades and still have not gotten even an opportunity to interview
yeah, not
or
even
even gotten a legitimate interview. And someone who has zero coaching experience can literally walk into the door as a head coach. It's and then people say there's no disparity. There is no bias when it comes to coaching or front office positions. And then you see this. Like, what's your argument at that point? Like, you can't continue to say that everyone has a fair shake at this
right.
when this because I'll just you who's a recently who retired a couple years ago. I
Grump,
don't know. Let's just
Grump.
say
We say
I'll
Grump.
say Patrick Willis. I'm just a random player that was a great player who retired. Patrick Willis not just walking into a head coaching job just because I played football,
Right.
but you know, it's wild to me. I just can't wrap my head around it. And if I'm a player in Indianapolis, I'm like, yo, this is some old bull.
Yeah.
Because I'm out here working every day with some great coaches who didn't even get a sniff at this.
Yeah, I mean, y'all already done benched Matt Ryan, so y'all kind of telling me where y'all really think this season is going.
Right. Let me throw somebody in here just to end this season, ride this out.
Yeah, so we can
Call
get
it
our
a
real
day.
quarterback. That's probably what they thinking about. They like, dog, we done went through 5 quarterbacks in 5 seasons.
And they all over 35.
Yep. So it's time we draft one. It's time we find a way to get in the top 10. And Israel
Make it
probably said,
happen.
you know what? We're gonna make sure we get that top 10 pick. Come here, Jeff Saturday.
That's
Nuts.
crazy to me,
Anyway,
man.
fuck the Colts. Back to the Bills, Minnesota. Top two things you looking for this week. Let's say, all right, let's say Josh is healthy enough to play. Let's
Okay.
look at it this way. So Josh is healthy enough to play. Top two things you looking forward to in this matchup.
For me, it's gonna be dope to see the Cook brothers. Granted, they don't play positions that go at each other, but I mean, it's just always dope to see when two people from the same family can to make it to the pinnacle of athletics. So
Right.
it's just gonna be dope to see them both, on the field doing the thing. Granted, Dalvin in a much bigger role, but just seeing that. That's how I feel like when I see Tremaine and his brothers out there playing, or to a lesser extent like Watts and Bosa's, because I mean they're not on the Bills. But it's always dope to see families be able to make this jump to the league. So it'll be nice to see James try to outdo his brother. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been saying this for weeks now because we ain't knowing it's gonna happen, but this got to be the week Trey come back. So I need it got to happen now. We're at home. He done had mad rest. So let me see my boy out here.
Wait,
My white jersey that's been sitting here for the last couple of weeks is waiting.
you gonna be at the game?
No, bro. I
Okay.
looked at that weather a couple of days ago. I was like, let me throw these tickets up for sale real quick. Let me see if I get a bite. Them
Heard you.
drinks sold in about 20 minutes. I'm like, yep, I'm out of here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, I saw 40 in rain. I said, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I
That,
feel
that
I'm gonna
that's
hold
the
it down.
worst weather on earth. But you know what? Honestly, I was thinking about not even going anyways before I even looked at the weather. So it's all good.
I feel you. But
Yeah, again,
yeah, Trey Day. So Trey White, right?
yeah,
Maybe.
I need to see my man out there. Again, I don't know how many snaps he's gonna get or whatever. It really don't make a difference. I need to see 27 out there because again, I know he's going to be a calming influence for that defense. It's going to bring a crazy amount of energy just to see 27 run out on that field. Again, if he is out there, he's going to have a hell of a matchup on his hands. But
Yeah.
I just need to see my guy out there. I just want to see this defense start to get freaking healthy, man. We haven't ran out of healthy defense yet, outside of probably the first snap of week one.
Right. Yeah.
So
That was about it.
hoping get Poyer back and Milano back, and
Really,
I don't
really
know.
Poyer and Milano. Like if we can
Yeah,
get Trey, Poyer, and Milano back,
it makes a huge difference.
that
Rousseau,
that's
I
a
don't know.
dream scenario, especially if Josh is truly questionable. If we can get
They're gonna
those,
need that defense big time if that's
oh
the
my
case.
God,
Yeah,
because
so
yeah,
yeah, Rousseau's gonna be rocking with the bum ankle, so he might be down for a
yeah,
little bit.
he'll probably be out. I don't expect him to play possibly until Detroit, if we
Yeah,
being honest.
it's probably gonna be a few weeks. Because again, I mean, if it's similar to that Oliver's situation, obviously every ankle is different. But the way they held him out for multiple weeks, I'm assuming it'll probably be a similar outlook for him.
Right. And this is a guy
So
that was trending towards double-digit sacks, which is
yeah,
crazy.
he was heading in that direction. So I mean, I don't know if Epinesa's next man up or Basham, or if they're gonna throw Shaq out there for.
I
I mean,
think if you
it's
playing
a big
Dalvin
run game.
Cook, I say like this: you playing Dalvin Cook, I might
Uh,
need Shaq.
yeah, Shaq might be the first one up on that rotation with Vaughn on the other side. So I mean, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world at all. So
Right.
to see that'd be not the worst thing. So I just want to see this defense healthy, man.
Right.
Because Jaquan Johnson is not looking amazing right now on that
That's
back
my
end.
man's.
That's your man's too, man.
That's
And
my man's. And I'm just
but
like,
yeah,
damn.
it's not pretty. It has not been
And it was
pretty.
the one thing I thought he was good at, which was tackling. Like I'm like, for sure, if one thing I know I can count on him for is putting up a big hit.
You know what? Honestly I thought it was the other way around. I thought Jaquan was a much more solid tackler than Hamlin. And
Right.
Hamlin has
Correct.
been the
I think that's what I
one.
was trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you. Hamlin's been the one that's been
He,
extremely solid. Like he's
yeah.
flying to the ball, and Jaquan is just not doing that. He's taking bad angles.
I was
He's
going to
not
say
filling
that's
gaps.
really what I'm noticing, especially in the Jets game, was the bad angles.
Yeah.
We saw it a couple times. I think against Pittsburgh. I want to say but it's really been the bad angles. And I think what he's realizing, now that he's, playing, a large percentage of snaps in the NFL, them angles that you take in college, them
It
shits
ain't
ain't
gonna
work.
listen. One
Them shits,
false step and it's a wrap.
one false step, that guy up the field 40 yards,
Mm-hmm.
or he dipping you outside and he cutting back in. Like, you really gotta be technically strong, and you gotta really zoom in on what you're trying to do, and you gotta think from a mindset of this. And this is what I think Hamlin and some of the young guys have already learned. I think Elam is still trying to learn this too, is that it's a team defense. So always remember that you got support around you. So never try to make that play on your own. Like, there's a couple times he jumped outside to make a tackle, and it's like, dog, you got help inside.
Right.
You got another dude coming from like, you got to think about all of that. Like, when you're in an open field,
Do your
open,
111, dog. Just play
do
your
your
gap. Play
111.
your lane. That's it.
And I think that's what McDermott, obviously, he preaches that week in, week out to these young guys, especially because it's like, y'all think Micah and Jordan are just that good because they're physically gifted? It's like, no, because
They do their job.
you're right. They realize that they're all connected. And I think that's what makes Taron Johnson so good. That's what makes Matt Milano so good. Edmonds at times. And even Trey when he's healthy. Tre'Davious understands that, like, hey, I can't do all of this on my own. I'm gonna do my part, play my role, and we're gonna get, the results that we want to get. So yeah, Jaquan is definitely struggling in that area. DeMar has definitely played better. If you're just comparing the two,
Yeah,
obviously,
Bernard had a rough game for his first
right,
start.
right. He had his welcome to the NFL moment.
But again, in your first start, I mean, I
Yeah,
feel like I've seen worse.
right.
So,
Against a team like the Jets, who are definitely going to run the ball down your throat. So that's a game you got to come in, and you either got to be extremely ready, or you might look foolish a couple times. And again, you give Jets credit. Obviously, Jets know what they're going to have to do to win games this year, and that's going to rely heavily on their defense and their run game, and just short intermediate passes. And guess what? That can win you 10 games in the league. So if that's what they're going to do, that's what they're going to do. I ain't got no beef with it. It's just, we owe them one, and we'll deal with that same game plan here because we know they're going to bring that game plan. We'll deal with that game plan when we come back. And
yep.
and we'll just hope that Josh ain't turn the ball over. That's it. But for me, looking at this Minnesota game, I'll say there's a couple things I'm looking at, and we kind of touched on it earlier, but it's really just a bounce back of the offense altogether. If Josh is able to play, I don't expect him to do too much, especially like deep dropbacks or anything like that. I just want to see guys catch the ball with their hands. I know that sounds basic. And I just want to see some of these guys just make plays in the open field, whether that's just getting open or making a guy miss or two. Like, they need to have guys, again, not named Diggs, making explosive plays, because this offense with the players that they got is not meant to just score 17 points.
Yeah, the thing is, right now, the way that the team is currently set up, after Diggs, most of the explosion comes from the running backs.
And that's, very true.
If that's what you got, okay,
Yeah.
use it. Figure it out.
Yep. If you got to use Hines and Cooks and put them both in at the same time, and you got to use counter plays, draw plays, screens.
Yeah, because I didn't mind. I mean, all three of those running backs got snaps last week, and I didn't mind them all getting in there. Like, use them.
Because they all bring something. They all bring something different to the table. Like,
Yeah.
Hines is obviously the fastest one. I would say Cooks probably got the softest hands. Pause. And then Singletary is just good at making the first guy miss. So you got a little bit of everything in that group where you can put him out at different times with Diggs, with Davis, with Khalil, with Knox, and you can put up points. Like, I just said about 5 names. And that's why I don't expect them to continue to go down, because I just feel like with that talent, with that offensive coordinator, and with this quarterback, there's no way you're going to tell me that they're going to be sitting here averaging 21 points a game at the end of the year. Like, no.
Right.
They got to figure it out. And they got to figure it out. And it really comes down to taking care of the ball. Obviously, you want to stay balanced, but you also got to control that line of scrimmage too. And I think the offensive line they know, and they didn't have a bunch of horrible moments. You know, they played against a very good Jets defensive line, but they know what they got to do. They know they know they can't let Josh get hit like that. Point blank. Period.
Yeah,
Point
and
blank.
that one fumble he had in the red zone, the one he recovered,
Mhm.
he needed just a not even a half second to get that ball off the Cook because that ball was breaking wide open. And
Right.
it's little things like that. If you block for another half second, that's a touchdown instead of a field goal, and that's a completely different game.
Right.
You don't throw that lazy interception on that first drive. I mean, that's another field goal at most.
Yeah. Really a
Um,
touchdown.
yeah, Bass missed a field goal, granted a long field goal right before halftime. That's another 3 points. So again, like even with all the mistakes they made, they were still, right there to win the game. Just one or two plays here or there. So like even on their worst day, they still are in position to win. So
Right.
like that's why I'm not tripping too bad.
I'm with you.
So yeah,
I'm with you, bro. So what we gonna say, man? Are we gonna give predictions based off of healthy
nah, bro,
Josh?
I'm about to treat it like Vegas, man. I'm taking this off the board. Nah, man, ain't no odds up for this. I look okay. I'll say it like this: if Josh Allen plays, I think it'll be a close game either way. I think it's something around the lines of 27-21, 27-24, somewhere in the mid 20s. I
Okay.
think with Josh playing, I think the Bills would pull it out. Again, I still think they're a better team. Minnesota does have a good player. I mean, they got one of the best running backs in the league, one of the best receivers in the league. Kirk Cousins, I don't love him as a quarterback, but he always puts up stats and puts up numbers.
Yeah.
They got a solid defense.
Regular season Poppy.
Exactly. Harrison Smith on the back end. They got players.
Zadarius
So
Smith.
yeah. So with Josh Allen playing, I think it's a close game. Without Josh, I mean, I still think it's fairly close. I mean, I would probably move the meter towards Minnesota, but
I wouldn't
I
want to
still
go
don't.
6-3.
Yeah, I still don't think it would be um, big margin of victory either
It probably
direction.
had to go. It probably mess around and go to overtime if Keenum is playing.
Yeah, it'll be an ugly game. I mean, if Keenum plays, we're gonna see if this team can actually run the ball or not.
Well, yeah, that too.
Because it ain't gonna be no 12 runs. We're gonna see if this team can actually
And
make
if
some
these
holes.
receivers can run they short and intermediate routes, because they probably just gonna try to get the ball out quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
I mean, again, if they had to go to Keenum, it's not a situation where I feel terrible about. Because again, when you look at the climate of backup quarterbacks across the league, I still think
top
Keenum
five.
is one of the better ones.
He top five.
Exactly. So like, I know he can win the game. I know he can keep the ship afloat for a couple of weeks if
Right.
he had to.
If he had to. I wish this was like Detroit and who's the other team we play in Cleveland. I would prefer that matchup, but
Mhm.
whatever. We'll see what their approach is, and we'll see what the real diagnosis is, and obviously
Yeah.
we'll know more. But
Thing is, I mean, Bills in the last couple of years, they don't lose back-to-back games. So
I know McDermott is listen. If one person is going to know how to rally the troop, it's going to be McDermott. Like
mhm.
you give him that credit where he is a good, teacher, pusher, leader. Where it's like, okay, guys, y'all know that was nowhere near our best.
Yeah, I mean,
I know
the,
we can't.
the good thing about a loss like this, it keeps you hungry. It puts a chip on your shoulder. It gives you that motivation. So
Y'all 0-2.
yeah, so
Y'all
like if you
0-2
felt
in
like
the
you were on
division.
top of the world, you were doing whatever, you
Yeah.
ain't there no more. So now,
Hey, hey, put the mic down. You in the
yeah,
locker room with the mic. Put the mic down. You got the broom, bro. All that, nah.
nah,
Karaoke's over.
nah, bro, that is 1,000,000% unrelated.
Nah, I know. I'm just saying. If you go on live, I'm in the comments, and I ain't gonna be the only one.
Live ain't got nothing to do with it.
I
So you
know,
tell me
but
I'm supposed
what?
to be in the
Oh,
playbook all
no.
day, every day?
Oh no, 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 no. I'm just saying this. Go on live on Friday and just read the comments. Don't even comment, just read the comments. And I bet you some people gonna be dogging like, yo, I get you want me to pick a new song for y'all to sing in a couple minutes, but try this song right here. And I can't think of a good song, but I know somebody will come up with some clever shit. They'll be like, oh, they want us to play what? Oh, win a fucking game. Damn. All right, y'all. We gonna cut this shit short today.
Yeah, man.
I don't
Nah,
like
man.
how
Let
y'all
them
hurt our
boys
feelings.
sing, man. They don't bother
Nah,
me
nah,
none, man.
nah. Listen, this ain't no that's all jokes, but nah, we want them to still have fun. But on a serious tip though, I do want them to realize that for real, don't do kind of what you did last year and flirt with losing that division title. Because I'm gonna tell you something right now. Last year was kind of close. This year is looking even a little bit closer. Because let me tell you something. Miami not going nowhere. And that's not to say I'm scared of them. We got to still play them. But Miami not going nowhere. They have figured out a way to get Hill and Waddle the ball. And I'm here to tell you there's not too many teams with corners who can stop those two receivers. So they're not going nowhere. They'll finish with 11, maximum 12 wins, but they not going nowhere. The Jets, yeah, that's more debatable because of Zach Wilson.
Yeah, their winning is not their correction. Let me say it like this: the brand of football they're playing is not sustainable long
Yeah,
term.
it's not threatening. It's not threatening
Right.
enough to make
Miami's 100% is because you got two of the best receivers in the league, and they
right.
get the ball ad nauseum.
Right. And now they added to their front seven. So that's something to at least sit up about, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, from a Bill standpoint, like I said, I just want them to just be coming out hungry. I want them to come out juiced up. I don't care who playing quarterback. My prediction really 24-20. And that's just no matter who playing quarterback. I see 24-20. I see it coming down to the fourth quarter, probably 6-5 minutes left. They have to make a play, and either it's made defensively, offensively, we'll see. But I really see it being a 3, 4, 7 point game. And hey, like you kind of said, if Josh not playing, it could really go either way. Like it definitely for me, if Josh is not playing, moves the needle towards Minnesota because they just have the more balanced attack. They're gonna have their starting quarterback, starting running back, top 2 wide receivers, pretty much from what I know, their defense, which is a pretty good defense. So
I definitely agree with that.
So yeah, I'm looking for a close game. We just finished a close game, so I don't think anybody is dying for another close one.
No, absolutely not.
But it's just the way the league is. It's you got 10 to 12 teams, and then you got the rest. Minnesota this year just happens to be one of those top 10 and 12 teams, and you got to play them. The good thing is you play them at home. And the not so good thing is that you don't know the status of your quarterback. So
right.
Once we find that out, we'll really know what to really think. But I think regardless, it's gonna be a close one.
I just want to, man, listen, with whether Josh Allen plays or not, if he does play, it's a banged up Josh. So I just want to see what y'all got all this talent at the running back position now. So let me see how you gonna use it.
Yep. All them gadgets, you know what I mean?
Boys hungry. Let these boys eat.
Man,
If Case Keenum or Josh Allen need to dump the ball off, let these running backs do what they do.
That's what you got Hines for. That's what you got Cook for. That's what you got McKenzie for.
Get the ball in their hands, let them go.
Even Diggs, he'll catch the ball 10 yards out, 8 yards, 15 yards. Shakir. So we'll find out more in the next few days, but I think one score is about right where we see it at. And I know probably out of 8 weeks of us doing this, it's probably only like the second time.
Right.
We predicted a 1-score game. I think the last time was a Kansas City game, but it's a week-to-week league. I say it all the time. Like, people think you can come on here and be able to just predict the Bills blowout all the time. Like, nah, this is what happens. Injuries happen, things change, other teams get better. Because I spoke to a couple clients today. One of the first things they said was like, I can't believe we lost to the Jets. I'm like, I believe it because teams get better. Teams get better. Teams don't stay the same. Like, it's not just like people used to say the same old Bills. Like, there's no same old Bills no more. Talk to Patriots.
People still try to say that though. Like, same.
Right? They try. Yeah, they'll try to. But if you talk to Patriots fans now, 80% of them will have respect for Josh Allen and the Bills. Like, they're not talking like it was 2 years ago when it was the fucking Bills. Like,
right.
Nah, Bills is up there. Like, man, we trying to get where y'all boys at.
Tell that to some of these Bills fans, man. I swear, man, this is the most emotional fan base on earth.
Oh yeah, you already know.
We'll be out here just looking like
they was online ready to jump off the bridge the other day, man.
Season's over. I'm like, yo,
you know how I go,
mad, bro. 6-2,
bro. You know how I go, bro. These, like you said, we got an emotional fan base.
I said, find me one person who would have been upset at 6-2 before the season started. Don't tell me who won what game. If you told me at the beginning of the season, after 8 weeks, the Bills would be 6-2, who would say no?
And if you want to just throw in there just for the fun of it, oh yeah, by the way, we're 6-2 and we beat the defending champions and Kansas City in Kansas City.
Yeah, so like, yeah, we lost. Yeah, we took an L.
Yeah, and what was the combined score? I mean, combined margin, 5 points.
Yeah, and we still in first place.
Right. So that's why I always, I always go by the 24, 48-hour rule, which is hey, knock the dust off, reflect. All right, boom, boom, boom. How can we get it back and go from there? But yeah, we approaching an hour, so you know what we like to do in our last few minutes, y'all. You know what I like to do with you, Zyrus, man. Hopefully you can put it up on your screen, on your phone.
Yep.
I don't think there's any big games coming up this week.
Yeah, it's definitely not this Thursday night game.
What's that? Is that the who playing Thursday night?
Nah, you don't even want to know, bro.
Oh shit.
It's an NFC South special.
Oh hell no. Who we got? Carolina?
Carolina, Atlanta.
Oh my.
Yeah. AKA, I don't even have no fantasy in this one.
Yo, that is.
I got nothing that's gonna draw me to this game.
That's ugly.
I got literally nothing that'll put me.
I don't even know if I can put a parlay together. Speaking of parlays, I did win like 3 out of 4 parlays in the last 5 days.
Okay.
You know who I was betting on? Them Knicks, man. Them Knicks. Nah, I mean, simple joints too. I'm talking Julius 15 points, Brunson 15
you putting
points.
money on your boy?
Hey man, 15, 8 rebounds.
You're putting money on your boy Jew?
Bro, this shit really worked for me like 3 days in a row. And I really wish I would have put more money on it. Like just straight up just put like 10, 20 on it. But it was Brunson 6 assists, Randall 8 rebounds. I think both of them scoring 15. And then
you still wish oh my bad.
And then RJ 2 threes.
You still wish they do something with Julius, or you like him better this year?
I'll say like this: for right now, he's playing better, and they finally realize, and only really due to fouls and injuries, they finally realize they can play Obi and Randall together. So that's the only thing that's giving me a little bit of hope.
It shouldn't have took this long,
right? But that's what I'm saying. Like Obi's in year 3. And now because of
this is first time he getting real minutes.
Right, he getting minutes, and he, bro. I watched the other game. I think it was over the weekend. Man, hit like 4
hitting threes. I said, where'd that come from?
Like not even like rolling in, like splat. And I'm like, and then he'll still catch the joint on you and bang on you. So I'm like, bro.
I said, Obi done found the jumper.
Come on, man. Stop playing, Stop playing with my man Toppin. So it's good to see. You know, some of the young guys, even Cam Reddish, you know, it's good to see him get out there on the court. I mean, he finishing with the left, reversing. I'm like, ooh, that's the Cam I remember from Duke.
Exactly, because I was excited when they traded for Cam last year, but he got hurt right away. I'm like, well,
he got hurt, and then he had to fight his way on the floor. But now they give him a man like 20 minutes. I'm like, ooh,
okay,
yeah, and he playing with his old college mate with RJ.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right.
They got talent out there.
I'm like, all right, at least he's listening, it seemed like, to some of his assistant coaches. Because that be the thing with Thibs is that he'll get a little off track and want to do stuff his way. But I think after last year, that was a little bit of humble pie when it was like, all right, maybe playing Randall 49,000 minutes is not
going to run the offense through him completely.
Yeah. Maybe that's not going to work. And also, obviously, shout out to Brunson. So don't want to forget that. Brunson has been a difference. Yeah, definitely. But anyways, go Knicks and all that. Go Sabres, too. I know they looking like they lost tonight, but go Sabres. Go Knicks. Syracuse got to get it together on the football field, but they looking good basketball-wise. Shout out to everybody else. UB football, UB basketball. There's a lot going on. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year where every time you turn on your TV, you can legit find a game to watch.
Anything, right?
Which can sometimes be tough on the wives. You know, they may not necessarily agree with that, but you know, it is what it is. But now week 10. Week 10, is there one particular upset that you see that you like? I like this upset over all the other ones.
So I'm gonna start with my lock of the week. So normally I feel like my lock so far has been ones with bigger spreads.
Right.
But I want to go. I want to switch it up this time. I want to go to a game. This game is only a 3-point spread, and I'm going for the home team. So it's really more like a pick 'em because they get the 3 points. But my lock of the week, I'm going Chicago over Detroit.
Okay.
I I just really like how Chicago's been actually letting Fields use his athleticism. Granted, it hasn't always turned into wins because they've been playing some good teams, but
Right.
they've been putting up a lot more points. Their offense is starting to look like a legitimate offense.
Right.
So, I wanna see them continue that. And Detroit just cannot figure out how to actually close a game and win.
Right. I mean, they did just beat Green Bay, but it was Green Bay.
Yeah,
Right.
right. I'm I'm taking that with a grain of salt right now.
Right.
So that's my lock of the week. From an upset standpoint, I don't really love any of these. But from an upset standpoint, I'm I'm gonna have to go with, you know, can I continue my regular Derek Carr slander, even though he had a good game last week. So
So
I'm going with
you gonna pick the Raiders?
Nope, going Indianapolis over the Raiders. I'm
Oh.
thinking Sam Ellinger is gonna walk into Vegas and walk out with a win.
Oh, okay.
Vegas cannot figure out how to win.
Okay.
Derek Carr puts up great numbers and still loses.
Okay.
They
Okay.
lost to the Jags. No disrespect to the Jags. I mean, but they were up 17-0.
Right.
17-0 and you lose. So yeah, nah, you don't deserve to win. So my upset of the week, I got Indianapolis over Raiders. But it's hard to say it's an upset since the Raiders only have 2 wins. However,
Right.
anytime you're rolling out Sam Ellinger as your quarterback, you just fired your head coach. You shouldn't expect to win. So that's why I'm saying upset of the week.
Okay. I
Even
like
though I did just completely slander the decision they made earlier in the episode. But again, you know, it's stuff like this when weird things happen, the players do rally around each other and they usually show up for a game or two
right.
before
Right.
reality kicks
Let's
back
off
in.
some emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this is a win they can, I'm not gonna say easily obtain, but it's definitely a winnable game. So that's what I'm going with. What you got, Bill?
I got two quick ones. I got two upsets for sure. I'm gonna try to roll with. I got Denver, so let's ride. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Russ. I got
Broncos
Denver
Country.
over Tennessee, and then I got the Cleveland Browns over Miami in Miami.
Okay.
Um,
So for the Denver over Tennessee, doesn't matter who plays at quarterback for Tennessee.
so for me, no. I think they're leaning towards Tannehill possibly playing.
Okay.
I just think right now Denver is realizing that this right
They
now,
ain't
like
shit.
the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think they realize that this is it. Like either you going to make some strides now. Like I know they won their last game before the bye, but
Mm-hmm.
either you going to do what you got to do now, or you can forget about this season. You can forget about that 200 plus million that you gave your quarterback.
Yeah,
Like
if they lose this game,
it
it's a wrap.
yeah. So I
It's a
feel
wrap.
like for them,
Because this would be their sixth loss.
right. But I just feel like for them, this is going to be a game where it's doable because Tennessee really ain't scaring nobody. Even though they played well against Kansas City, we'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a doable win. So I'm gonna try to hang on a little bit longer. I feel like every other week I pick Russ to get an upset and
It just
nothing
ain't
comes from
happening.
it. Yeah, so we'll see. And then the other one with Cleveland, I think this is a little bit out of spite. Like I just want to see Miami drop back, but
Mhm.
also I think Cleveland is physical enough where they can kind of match that
I,
physicality.
I was just about to say that it's the matchup that Cleveland offers from up front, from an upfront physicality standpoint.
Right.
Again, first of all, you got a freak of nature in Myles Garrett who
Right.
can destroy everything. And if they can't figure out how to slow him down and neutralize him, it's a wrap.
Right. And they got some decent corners. I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
if the other one gonna be back. I think is Ward still out? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I haven't followed Cleveland
Okay.
at all.
I know Greedy Williams is back there and they got a couple other good corners. Linebackers are pretty decent, but like you said, Myles Garrett, That's a big one right there. Because if Myles Garrett is in the backfield all game, that can be a long game. I don't care if he's throwing short passes. That can be a long day for Tua.
Yeah.
And then I just look on the opposite side. Is if Cleveland finds a way, let's say, to control the ball. Like Cleveland is like the Jets, where they're going to try to figure out a way where they can control the clock and run that ball. And when you got a guy like Chubb, who is one of the top 2 or top 3 best running backs in the league, they're
Right.
going to force Miami to stop the run, which Miami hasn't been too great at stopping the run this year. You know,
Yeah,
they
and the thing is, like a lot of teams that run the ball a lot, they run it to, control the clock, keep the ball out of other teams' hand. No, Cleveland run the ball because that's literally their best weapon.
right,
Like they're running the ball because I'm gonna score. Because
right,
I have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and you don't, and you
right.
can't stop me. And I got some great guards and a good center and a couple good tackles. Like, no, bro, this is my weapon. Cleveland, listen, Cleveland pound for pound is a good team. And
Okay.
once Deshaun Watson come back, they're gonna be a dangerous team.
Uh,
They're gonna be a dangerous team. Yeah,
uh,
if they can just continue to ride the wave and ride it out until he comes back and be within striking distance of the playoffs, that's not a team I want to see later in the playoffs. Absolutely not. A team that can run the ball like that, and when last time you saw Deshaun Watson, in my opinion, he was a top 10 quarterback.
right, definitely for sure.
Again,
Arguably
I
top
mean,
5.
I don't like their receivers. I
Oh yeah,
mean, Cooper's cool, but
yeah,
they're not a perfect team. But the way they can win up front on both sides of the ball, they're a tough out.
right. Well, okay, so we got our 2 upsets out the way. I will give my one lock because I don't think I said a lock, but I think I'm gonna get a lock to the Raiders. I think I'm gonna go opposite of you. I'm gonna go Raiders, and I've said this before. It just don't make enough sense for me outside of Derek Carr being Derek Carr. But I think that with the Colts stumbling in, like literally stumbling in with all the changes, it can go one or two ways. It's either gonna give them motivation and the
Or
energy
go horrible.
to shock
Yeah.
the fans of the world on Sunday, or they can lose 37-0. So
Yo, this my bad. Just sticking on this one more time before I leave that topic. Like, yo, listen, you really put somebody in this position. I mean, granted, you played football at the highest level, but never had to organize a practice, never had to organize a game week, never had to communicate between the different coaches throughout the game, never had to facilitate this, never had to worry about challenge flags, never had to worry about time management. Like, yo, this is your first time doing all this, and you just gonna learn on the fly? Like, that's absolutely crazy to me.
right.
I don't get it, man. But yeah, I'm off that point now. My bad.
Nah, it is what it is. Crazy. Crazy weekend and crazy weekend football. But now I think we cover most of what we wanted to. Like I said, we had
Yeah.
to get by the Jets game because we don't want to dwell on that. Obviously we're focused on Josh's health. And as we record, we don't know too much. So we're holding out hope that he's okay. If not, like we said, big case season. Um Shit, I know we a little bit past an hour. So shit, anything you want to tell him before we sign off?
Uh, I got elbow tendon to Josh needed. Holla at me.
Holla at me, boy.
If one of y'all need one of these things, I don't need them both.
Man,
Yeah,
listen, Poyer too. You need an arm or whatever you
yeah, Josh can have one elbow, and Porter can get the
Poyer
other
can have the
elbow.
other one. Shit.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
we good. So I got elbows for y'all boys. So that's all I'm gonna say. Let my man Trey Day come back. Free Trey.
Free
Come
trade,
back and
man.
come back and get my boy 2-7 out here. So that's what I'm looking for. To let my boy 2-7 get this field and let's ride.
Let's ride. But nah, listen, man, like you said, man, let's find a way to get some of these guys back on the field. And I just want to see him get the 7 wins. I think last 2 years it's been tough when we got into like 5 or 6 wins.
Yeah, it's the stumble
Like
spot.
to just keep going. Like, you know what I mean? We
Yeah,
normally just
it's the
get there and
stumbling block.
we stumble. So I just want to see him get the 7 against a very good football team. I really think that they are fundamentally sound. Like Minnesota's not flashy, but they do everything pretty well. And if you do that in this league, you'll find your way to the playoffs. So a good challenge this week. We appreciate y'all for tuning in again. Like I said,
Absolutely.
been a crazy week, disappointing week for some. But you know what? You got to bounce back. No season gonna be perfect. And yeah, like I said last week, celebrated a couple birthdays, baby Z, Ev. Mine's is coming up in a couple days. So,
Woo woo.
and if y'all see me this weekend, if y'all see me at the game, feel free to stop by, say what's up, have a shot with me. And shit, you know what I want for my birthday? Just bring me that dub.
Big
Just bring
dubs.
me that dub, and I'll be
Big
all right.
dubs.
Big 3-4 on the way, man. Listen, y'all, subscribe, like, share, continue to spread the word,
Yep,
continue
what
to
he
show
said.
love.
We appreciate all that. Every single like, man. I went and showed a house to one of my clients, and they just told me the first episode I listened to was last week, and they listened to the whole thing, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. So I appreciated that feedback. I said, "Dang, bro, I didn't even know you was listening."
Right, right. We appreciate it though.
Listened to the
All
whole
that.
thing, so it was dope. So
All that, whether you just listening to it or you watching us, obviously some weeks we do Zoom like we're doing today. Other weeks, you know, we're in the basement. But listen, man, we look forward to connecting with y'all. This is still a long season. I mean, we're at the halfway point, but hey,
early,
if we keep playing playoffs, etc.,
a
we're gonna
long way to go.
we're gonna keep rocking. So y'all listen, this is Vel.
It's your boy Cyrus. We will see y'all next week. Love y'all.
Peace out. Be easy. Let's get it.